Hello, Brother Sewing and Crafting family. Angela Wolf here, Brother Brand Ambassador, and it's a new week with some new lessons for you. So pop in, say hi. We are streaming on the Brother Sewing and Crafting YouTube and Facebook pages, and I would love to know what's on your sewing table today. We are live on screen and in the chat today. So pop in, say where you're from. Where are you watching from? We'd love to see that. So guess what we have today, in case you missed the title? Yeah, the fabulous Cathy Gandy is back with us, which you know her, you love her. She always has the best tips. So let's bring her up and see what she's going to show us today. Cathy, how are you?
I'm doing well, and you?
Oh, I'm just so excited to be here today. You know, I was thinking, what's going to be on today's show? And then I saw that you're doing some quilt sashing and working with some border function. You know, I have been playing with that quilt sashing. I made a beautiful table cover for my mom and gave it to her for her birthday. It was so simple. She thought I spent all this time, and I was like, I really just did a little bit of math and had a cup of coffee.
Okay, and did you just do the around the edges, or did you take sections of it and use those?
Oh, no, that would have made it even better. I just went around. It was a hexagon shape too, so that was kind of fun.
Oh, I love those. I love the hexagon shape. It's a lot of fun.
It is. Yeah. It is. So everybody's popping in saying hi. It is a beautiful sunny day here in Michigan. I think summer might finally arrive. Finally.
I hope so.
I hope so. So what do you got for us today? Because I always pick up something from you, and so do all the Brother Sewing fans. And I know you're going to be playing on the Aveneer, which everyone's very excited about.
Yeah. So it's just the quilt sashing. I don't know if you can see this or not. So this is something I did a while back, and it has the quilt sashing, and you can see it on the back better. So you could see that I used the square here around the edges here, and then here I took sections of it. So I did a corner just here. So I just did the corners, and then I took the long one and made some flowers along the edge here. So you can take sections of it and use it in different parts. And then you can see here that this is the triple stitch. So this makes it heavier. And then you have the single stitch here and the single stitch over here. So these are lighter than this because this is triple stitch and this is just a straight stitch. So you can do all kinds of fun things with this if you don't, you know, if you want to, and you can kind of see the flowers here that are a single stitch.
Those
so
are
that
beautiful.
You can fill in a whole area so you can see the single stitch here better.
Yeah.
And then the others is easier to see on the back. So this is just an example of using the square and then just using bits and pieces.
I love that. That would have been, well, Mom, I hope you're not watching because you're going to think I should have really upped my game.
And then I know you've all seen the rose quilt, so we won't show the front. That's just the picture play quilt. And I didn't want to do any sashing or any embroidery quilting in the center here. So if you look at the back, I just took the lines and I just, I don't know if you can see it too well, but I just took those and I just did it around the picture play box. And so I did the one around the border, and then I changed the size and just did the sashing in between. So you can see that I didn't want to do it on the picture play, but I was able just to do singles down the whole area there and get my quilting just all on the embroidery machine with the sashing.
I love that. That's beautiful. Lorraine says, hey, everyone, don't forget to hit the like button. Thanks, Lorraine. Great to see you.
Well,
okay, this is so much fun.
This is what we'll be working on today, kind of, sort of. So this is just a regular quilt, whatever, blocks. And I've just started it. I haven't gotten very far. I've got another one hooped. But if you look here, I wanted to do something in here. And so I took the corner and I made the corner bigger. I'll show you how to do that. And then I projected, well, I didn't project it down. I scan my fabric and then I size this up to fit in that block. So you can see that it fits right in that square.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
So you can just take bits and pieces and have a lot of fun.
Oh,
Okay.
this is going to be fun.
So we'll go ahead and go on over to the machine. We'll go to the machine screen. I want to show you a few things that I think are, I know we like our manuals printed, but I want to show you how to look at the manual on the machine. It's just quick and easy, and you can go there and read about how to do this function, and it's just very, very, very easy. So let me get back to my camera here.
While she's switching her screen, everyone watching, welcome to the party. Leave your comments. We are live today. So if you have questions, drop them in the chat. And if you have questions, Cathy's the one to answer it. She knows everything about these machines.
No, she doesn't, but she tries. Okay. Well, you can't really see, but the settings is up at the top, and it's the one that looks like a little, well, to get to the manual, it's the one with the question mark. So you'll have a square with a question mark. So I'm going to push that. And then I'm going to push the manuals and go to operation manual. Well, I know that the table of contents is going to be on page 910. So I'm going to push that number there, and then I'm going to come to my numbers, and I'm going to push 9 and then push the arrow down, and there I go, and I'm on my table of contents. So you can see, so I can come right here. So 9, 10, 10, 11 are your table of contents. So if you want to get there to see what you need, then you just come here. Well, I've looked before, and I know that the quilt sashing is on page 200, 201. So I'm just going to push in 200 and then push the arrow down. And I'm right on my page about the sashing. I just think that's so easy, and it's right there, so I can sort of get a feel for what I'm doing. The first one is about the quilt, the quilting border. This, well, first one here, and I'll talk about that when we get over there, is it just splits it into 4 pieces. And with that, you're going to use Pattern Connect by camera. So that means you're going to be using your snowman stickers. So it will just divide it into 4 equal pieces. And you know that if you're going to do that, you're not going to be able to do a large size quilt. You're going to have to come to this one, and that the instructions for that are just down a little bit further. And you just scroll and read how to set it up. It's just really easy to do. Just gives you a little bit of more confidence to go in and do it, because you do want to make a chalk mark above where you want the top of your design to be. So it just gives you a little more confidence that, yes, I've got this down. I'm going to be okay, and it's going to be fantastic. Okay, so that's the manual, and I just really think it's a great thing to have built in.
I love that you showed that you can actually go and put in the page that you want to go to instead of having to scroll through the whole thing. So that's really good.
Exactly. And with my old eyes, I can't scroll a page bigger, but I can scroll my screen bigger so I can read it.
That sounds.
I can pinch my screen bigger so I can read it better. But I can't do that to my printed page.
That's
right. It doesn't work.
Jones, is that the same for number 3? What do you mean by that? Leave a little more description.
Oh, okay. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I think we're getting a little confused here. So I'm going to come to the quilting section, and you have 3 ways of the border, and then you have the edge to edge. So I'm not talking about these 3. So you have the single color, the double color, and the hexagon. So these are the 3 that I think that she may be talking about.
Okay.
This is the edge to edge. So I'm going to come here, and I want to pick something with circles on it, because the fabric has a bunch of circles. Oh, and another thing is I wanted that circle in the middle. So if you look at some of these, if you look here, do you see what a hard edge that would be? So that would really look like a corner. So, and that one table runner that I showed you, the hard corner worked. But on this, I wanted something just to fill that square. So this hard corner here would not work because it is gonna look like a corner. So I wanted something like this. And you see how that's a circle? So all I'm going to get is that circle, so it will fit my square better. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. That does make sense. And if you guys have more questions on that, just drop it in there.
Yeah. So when you're looking for what you want, make sure that you sort of, get a feel for what the corners are like so you'll know which way to go. So I'm going to go to set here. Now this is what I was talking about. So this one, if I pick this, I'm limited. I can only go up to 21.65 inches. So it's a smaller area because it only divides it into 4, and it's pattern connect by camera, which uses stickers. So my quilt is 29, so I cannot use this. I'm going to have to go to the other one. But if you have a smaller quilt, a little table topper, tiny little table topper, or whatever the tulips that I did around there, I could have used this because it's small. But this is good for small things, and it just divides it into 4, and you have your pattern connect by camera. So I'm going to return. Does that make sense?
It sure does.
Okay. So now I'm going to come back to that one, if I can find it again. Well, if I can't scroll down any further, I was at the bottom, so I was trying to scroll down. That didn't work. Okay, so I'm going to do this one. All right, so there we have the same one again, and I'm going to go to set. So now I'm going to pick this. So this splits it all around, and it's going to use projection to line it up instead of the stickers. And you can see that I can come up to 118 inches now. It's not going to just divide it into 4. It's going to take these pieces and make maybe three circles, maybe, and then 1 circle, and then the corners. So you're going to have a lot of different sections here. So this one is grayed out right here. So it wants to know how wide this is. Well, it's a square, and it's 29 inches. And I push set, and the 29 will show up here. And then the length, it's 29 also. And set. Now it's asking me how big I want the pattern to be. I have about a 3.5 inch border there, I think. So I'm thinking let's do 2.75 and set. Now I'm going to be using the 7x14 magnetic hoop. So I'm going to scroll through here until I get to 7x14. And there you go. And then go to next. So it's split it up. It's telling me warm gray, and I can change that color if I want, and I probably should, but I'll show you. I'll go ahead and change it so you can see it. So let's, I think I did we'll see if that works. If not, we can change it later. But it's also telling you that it's 16 pieces. So you're going to have the 4 corners, and then so you'll have 3 sections in between here on each side. So 16 times. And then this is single stitch or triple stitch. So you can have whichever one you want. Now you have to put this into memory and then go to your memory and bring it up, because the machine has to do all its work. I don't want to do all that math. I want the machine to do it for me. So I'm going to hit the pocket there and say, okay, it's going to go into memory. And then you wait for it to calculate everything. I want to talk a little bit about the magnetic hoops also. I had one here. What did I do with
it? We have to do squirrel patrol at your office there?
Okay, so we're so used to Okay, let's go ahead. We're so used to having everything centered, but with our magnetic hoops, they're not centered. So I want to make sure that you know that if you put your design right in the center, it may be off a little bit. So if you take off the magnets on this hoop, whoops, here we go. You can look down here, and this is the bottom here. There's a little arrow, and then there's a little arrow over here. So from here, this is all, you can't use this area here. And then you have an arrow over here and an arrow up here. So this space is
we can't quite see the top there, Cathy. We can't see your hand, so just lower it. Look what you're showing.
Here's the arrow here. This space is not available. If you go past, if I have my design up in here, it would be too high. Does that make sense?
It does.
And so down here is the lowest I can go. And then you have your left and your right. So just make sure that you keep these little arrows in mind, because the center is over here now and not in the center. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. So just make sure, because these are fantastic hoops. I love them. But those are something that can do a little frustration, but if you understand it, then it's easier. Okay, so that's my
asking. So you only have part of the field to use. Yep, that's exactly what she's describing.
Exactly, and you do on every hoop. Every hoop has every hoop is larger than your sewing field. Yep. So every hoop has an area that you can't use. It's just that this is shifted a little bit.
Great question. Yep.
Okay. All right. So first off, so here you see, if you look down here, you're going to see a little symbol. It says 16. So that means that when I select this one, it's going to tell me where to start, and it's going to guide me all the way around the edges. This is a single piece. So if I pick that, I just have a single piece. Here's a double piece, and here's a triple piece, so that you can see the size and you can see if it's going to fit in the area that you want. And so it has all the different sizes of different pieces that you can use. But we want this one. So now we're ready to get going here. So I'm going to go to set. And it's telling me
in the upper right corner of the fabric. Attach the embroidery frame in the initial sewing position.
So it tells you exactly where to go. No, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. It tells you exactly where to hoop and how to have it all set up. So I'm going to say OK.
Use the move pattern keys to adjust the inside corner of the pattern.
Okay. So then OK. And now it's going to turn my projection on. So I'm going to go ahead and move to the other camera.
All right. While she's moving, I'll bring you up as soon as you're up there. Drop your comments and questions below. And Jones wants to know, what size hoop would you use for a bed-size quilt? That's a good question.
For a what?
A bed-size quilt.
Oh, you can use whichever hoop. You're just going to have to hoop more or less. Really, sometimes I think it depends on what size I make the pattern. So if I want it big, I'm going to use a bigger hoop, so I have to do less hooping. But it all depends on what you're comfortable with. I mean, if you're comfortable with hooping, and I do like to hoop sometimes, then you just set your hoop, and then you can just pop your hoop out and then pop it back in, and it really is very easy. But you're going to have to hoop less. I mean, it's just
I know we have with the Aveneer, that huge hoop, which is awesome, but I love those magnetic hoops, and they're so great, especially when you've got something really thick.
Yeah. So it's whatever makes you smile, and you can go with that.
There you go. That's a great answer.
So I don't know if you can see this or not. So here is my corner. So here is the corner that has to be up here. Can you see this little red line here?
Not really, but we trust you.
Okay, all right. So I made the background green, so I thought maybe you could see it better, but I guess not. So I'm getting closer. And excuse me, I'm going to have to take a peek. Okay. Oh, that looks pretty good. It's not going to be great, but it looks pretty good. So I'm going to say okay. Now, this is, if you're a real, and in the instruction, it tells you to mark. So I've got a chalk mark up here as to where this design's supposed to be. So from here to here should be what I put in there. Probably not, but that's okay. From here to here should be 2.75. But this area here, I wanted to free for to sew on my binding and give me a little extra space. So give yourself a little extra space. Don't make it too tight. And also, if you're a quilter who gets really anxious about the knots on the back, we'll show you what to do with that. So if you come here and you turn off this trim, this is thread cutting, this is jumps, and this is at the end. So you can turn this off and say, okay. And let me see, I think that'll do it. And now I want to start, I'm going to push layout. I want to start where it's going to start stitching. So it always goes to the center. So when you want to start right where it starts stitching, you're going to come to your stitches, plus and minus, and go +1. And that takes you to the beginning of the stitching. And say, okay, I'm going to take my thread tail and I'm going to do needle up and down and bring up that bobbin thread. Now, you don't have to do this, but some people just, they think that that's, they don't want that little knot on the back. It all depends on what makes you happy. So there you go. There it is. And then I'm going to go ahead and start. And everything goes dark. I guess it's okay. And let it sew.
Yeah, we can see it much better now. You can't help it. It's that brightness of the projector, but we got it. So also, when you go back to move to your next one, Cathy, be sure to show the screen to show them what it looks like too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that looks so good.
Okay, and I did cut it, but that's okay.
Embroidery is finished.
Okay, it's good.
To connect next pattern.
Okay, so let's. Do you want to see the screen and then have me go back?
Yeah, we'll have you go both because that way they can follow along. And also, don't forget everyone that's watching, if you're really curious about what exactly to touch, you can go into the masterclass too that shows this. But we want to see what you're doing too. So.
All right, so here we go. It tells me I'm finished. And is it okay to connect the next pattern? And I'm going to say okay. Now, if you don't always
to adjust the angle of the pattern while keeping an eye on the points around the pattern.
Okay, so now it wants me to move the point up here. So we'll go back. Well, the point up here. So we'll go back to the other camera.
And while she's flipping back and forth, leave your comments and questions below and let us know if we can help in any way. And yes, this quilt sashing is on the Luminaire. Someone asked if it's on the Luminaire 3. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to say, okay. Oh, well, never mind. Okay, so I messed up. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to go back a segment. So I can go back to 1 and then I can go forward to 2. So if things don't work out, you can go back and forth. So let me go ahead and go back to the other camera so you can see what I'm doing real quick here. Okay, so I messed up on segment 2 because I didn't line it up right. So I can go back a segment right here, and it takes me back to 1 right here, and then I can forward back to 2. So
And
now
so
I'm on 2.
show them how you got to that, because you had to touch the, the needle, the plus minus. When you go back there, show them where you found that. There, well, you might have to show it in a moment. That's okay.
Okay, well, I'll show them, yeah.
Use the move pattern keys to align the start point with the end point of the previous pattern.
Okay, so this is what I didn't do. I got carried away here. Oh, and you know what? I haven't moved my fabric yet either. So let's let's go back over here. I'm sorry, I'm making you dizzy.
No, not really, but your shirt's nice looking.
So what I love about this hoop is I can just take these off, and now I've got this extension table back here. I'm going to take my magnets off. Well, maybe. And just set them back here. And then I will just take this up. Make sure that you have a hold of the fabric here so it doesn't get underneath the hoop. Did that this morning. So I'm going to move this up. And just sort of, so I don't have to move the other one too much. Move that up. And go ahead and put my magnets back on. Remember this little part goes on the inside. And that way I don't have to take the hoop off. I can just move my magnets, remove the magnets, put them off to the side, and come back. I pin my quilts. I'm kind of old fashioned, so I pin them. So I need to take these 2 pins out. All right. So that was a little easier than having to take the hoop off and rehoop. Don't you think?
A lot easier.
So there you go. Now I'm going to take this point right here. It's a little, and move it up to where the and I'm not going to go for perfect here. I hope you understand, because I can't really totally see here. But
so for everyone watching it, you can actually see her design moving. So she's moving it. On the screen, there's move buttons, and that's what you can see moving on there. That's not embroidery. That's actually the projector that's on there.
Yeah. So there we go. So I'm moving the arrow to where it's right on here. I mean, one more. Okay. So that's the first point. That's the one that I missed earlier. And then I'm going to say, okay. And now it's going to have the
keys to adjust the angle of the pattern while keeping an eye on the points around the pattern.
So it wants me to move it, to rotate it. So if you had moved this and accidentally curved it some so it wasn't straight, then this is where it will bring it back with the rotation. So I want to make sure that this is right on the line. It looks pretty close, but let's go ahead and just rotate it a little bit there. So just to use the buttons. So there you go. And then say, okay. And go ahead and, so this is the button where I would go back. Do you see? Oops, never mind. I'm on the wrong screen again, right? Okay, I'm going to say, okay. And then we'll just go ahead and start.
It's so quiet.
Yes, it is. You can see it's just great. I just really, it's amazing to be able to do this without having to do my own free motion. All right. All right, so let's
is finished. Okay to connect next pattern.
so I'm going to stop connecting right here. I'm going to cancel. And then when I come back, I'm back on the screen here. So let's just say I go home here and say, okay. Now I know that I'm on section 3. So it's at the end of the night and I'm tired. I want to go to bed. So I go to bed and I come back tomorrow and I come into here and I pick this. And like I said, it takes a while because I have all those picture play ones in memory. Sorry. And I'm going to pick it again. I'm going to pick this one and go to set. You say okay, and okay, and okay. And then I'm going to come to the plus and minus here. Do you see that? And then I'm going to go forward 2, 3. And then I would be ready to do the third section. So just remember what section you're on, and you can go back and forth to the different sections right there.
I'm so glad you showed that. That is always the one thing I always forget about, because usually I'm finishing everything in one day. And every once in a while, I won't. And then I'll think, okay, now how do I get back there?
Yeah, so you think of it as it is stitched forward and back, so you could still use it for that, but it also is a section one. So it takes you a section at a time forward and back for this part of the program.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. So is there any other questions? I mean, we could go on, but it's the same sort of thing.
Let's see if anybody's got questions for us. Everyone says that they're just enjoying this. Yes, you could do this on the Luminaire. Someone was asking.
And I was going to go ahead and go do one of the blocks, the inside block. So I'm going to come home here. And I'm going to go to embroidery. And I'm going to come back here. And I'm going to get the same pattern. And go to set. And do the same one. And I'll do the same thing. I'll do 29 by 29. Don't forget to push set. That's what I almost forgot to do. Okay, and then do, let me do 3 inches. And do the seven by 14. And let's do a triple stitch here. And go set. And okay. And wait for a while. And it will be the first one here. So I'm going to touch this one. And now I want a corner, or so with this one you have the corner, or you have just a single stitch. So I think I'm going to do the single stitch and have it come up and go to set. Now I'm going to probably get in the way here because I want to change the hoop so I have that block in the center. I'm going to come over here. You want to watch me do this, or I guess I can change the camera so you can watch me do this.
Oh yeah, we want to see.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and take my magnets off again. I love this little table back here because it supports, but it's also a place to store my magnets over here. Take this out. All right, then I'm just going to move this over. So this block is in the center there. And then put your magnets back on. So now this is the section that I picked. It's going to have me just place this myself. So the machine is not going to do it for me. I said I want to do this myself. Okay. So I've got that single design. I don't know if you have to go back and see it or not.
Probably because there's a few people that just rolled in.
Okay. So I brought up this single design. So I have a single design on the screen here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scan my fabric. So I'm going to push this button here and scan the background. So this is using another section of your machine. This is the camera. And it's just going to scan the background here and show on the screen what it looks like. So my fabric should show up on the screen.
So while that's scanning, Cathy, there is a question for you that I think that might really pertain right here. It's from Teresa. She says, how do you prevent the edges of your quilt from being pulled under the foot? Are you tacking it down? Is it spray paint?
Well, you can tape it down, but because I'm staying away from the edge, it doesn't get over there. So my design is always going towards the inside. So if you look, I've left that 1/2 inch out there so the foot never goes past the fabric.
Okay,
so
great.
Always staying on fabric. The thing is, you can see that it pulled a little bit. So to prevent that, you may want to tape it down. But I kind of just smoothed it out with my hands. But you may want to tape it down. But the foot, it's not like edge to edge. Edge to edge will go off and it will catch. Now, when I'm doing edge to edge and I see that it's going off, I will push in and hold the start button. And when you do that, the machine moves very slowly. So if it does catch, you can stop it real quick, fix it, and then go on. So that's what I do when I'm doing edge to edge. But when I'm doing this, the foot never really gets close to the edge to fold up the fabric. Did that help?
It sure did.
Okay. All right. So now I want to come in here and I'm going to close this. Well, let me go. Well, I'm going to come into edit and let's come into the color and let's make that thread color a red. And then you can really see what you got there. Can you see that better?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So there we go. So I'm going to come and I'm going to, I want to size that. So I'm going to come here. Never mind. That's the movement. So here's the size. And I want to recalculate the stitches. I do not want the stitches just to stretch out. I want to recalculate them so we'll add stitches to it. So the reason I didn't center it right now is because when I push that, it resets the pattern anyway, and it would move it back to where it was. So I'm just going to say, okay, and there I'm ready to size. So I'm going to move it down. Okay, so I'm going to move it down some. And I'm going to use the arrows because my fingers don't work just right. And I'm going to try to get it in the center as best as possible. And it looks like I could rotate it a little bit, but let's see if we can just size it without messing with that. Okay, so I'm going to size it out. And that looks pretty good, except I want it a little bit wider. So I'm just going to push this button here and bring it out some. Let's take it back in some. And there we go. And let's move it over just a bit there. And there we go. That looks pretty good. So now I'll sew it. So I'm going to say okay. And I want to go to embroidery. And I'm going to go plus or minus, and I'm going to do +1. So it goes to where it's going to start stitching. And then we'll go back over to the machine.
That looks great.
All right, so here we go. And I'm going to take, I've already +1. And I'm going to pull my thread here and do needle up and down. And pull that thread up. Well, I'll just leave it. And then just start. And let the machine do its thing. But that's why I can take a piece of it and continue with the same sort of shape and fit it into my square where I want. You can also do that with a straight line. So you can take and put it in your sashing area on the inside of your quilt and just squash it down a little bit, and there you go. So you would just take the individual pieces and go for it.
What a great way, though, to combine everything to look so custom. So there is a question up here I'm going to bring up because you did not miss the snowman sticker. She's asking, Joyce is asking, did I miss using the snowman sticker to align? No, you didn't. Because
No.
we're not using the snowman.
Yeah, it was just on that first one where you would use the snowman sticker, and that's just for a smaller area. And since we were doing larger area, we didn't use it. So, so when you're doing the first section in the sashing is pattern connect by camera. That's the snowman. When you do the second one, that's the projector. So one is a snowman, like with the camera, and the other one is a projector, using the projection to move things around. Does that make sense?
It sure does. I didn't think you showed it either, so I was just making sure when she left the comment that.
No, I didn't show it. If you want me to, I can.
Oh, she says thanks. Don't worry, Joyce. I was thinking I didn't see it either. So let's just double check that I was not.
Well, I just wanted to explain the difference between the two, because we see those up there. We always go for the second one because that's what we usually use. But I wanted to explain what the first one was so that you'd have a feel for it.
Perfect. Everyone's saying thank you.
I feel like the more we know about it, the easier it is to make things happen.
It is. And you know what I really enjoy is watching you take that quilt and move it around with those magnets. Have you noticed, everyone watching, that she has not removed the hoop? The hoop has stayed there. She just takes the magnets and moves the quilt around. What an easy way. That's why I say I love the magnetic.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll take the hoop off. If I can find it. And I'm going to put this thread here.
Hey, Kathy.
Yes.
Teresa wants to know, do you always leave a 1/2 inch margin from the edge?
It all depends. Yes, can you?
Yeah.
I don't know where that camera is.
Over to your left, I think, unless you're mirrored.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's this camera. Well, let's go switch to the other camera because I.
Okay. I was like, hey, whatever those pink things look really cute. Oh, yeah, Teresa. She said, I didn't know holding the start stop button will slow the machine down. That's the best trick in the world, especially if you're going around and you don't want to get that edge stuck in there. Okay, let's see what you got, Cathy. Look how
There's
beautiful.
and then the back is just, there you go.
Gorgeous.
And we got
Beautiful.
we're going to do the sashing at. I have no idea. Oh, there it is. It's underneath the hoop. Here's the sashing that we started. And so I
move that to your right just a little bit.
And finish this because I know I'm on section 3.
Perfect. That looks great. Okay, Teresa, I see your question. Could you show that, please? What do you want her to show? And I will grab her at the end to show. Anne says, thanks. She wondered how to use those magnetic hoops.
Yeah, I just, I was working with it, and the other magnetic hoop is kind of big, and it's really heavy. It's extremely nice. But this flat one, I just really like because I can get those magnets off fairly easily. I don't need to use the tool, and just put them aside and go on from there.
Yeah, that's nice. Anybody have any questions for Cathy? Drop them in the chat. I know there's a delay, so I'll take just a moment. I love the way you took the one design, though, and used it someplace else. What an easy way to really customize your quilt. But I'm thinking more those smaller designs would be really cool on the edge of a jacket or on sleeves. You know me and my sleeves.
Right, yeah. And so I was going to, and I haven't tried it yet, is even make them smaller and put them in here.
Oh, that would look good.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of thinking and moving them, and with the being able to stretch them any way you want, even if you have, and I did a horrible job on this block right here because it's too small, but if I could stretch it, nobody probably wouldn't see it because it would fit in there. And so they would notice that it's smaller than the other ones.
Well, so the other Lisa made a comment that every time she gets to her second and third corner, it doesn't quite fit quite right. So don't forget about those tools, Lisa, to be able to shrink your design to fit in there, especially when it comes to your last one. That definitely is a help.
Yeah. So that's so I go ahead and scan the fabric when I want to do something like that, because I think to see it on screen is a lot easier than using the projection. The projection is nice. I mean, I love it. That's why I love Brother Machines, is because they give you so many choices. So what doesn't work for me, and it could work for other people, but what doesn't work for me with one thing, it works with another. So I always have all my bases covered because I can always use a different technique.
That's great. Everyone say thank you, thank you. Fabulous.
Oh, good, good. So is there any other questions?
I don't see any. This has been a great tutorial. Yeah, being able to scan the fabric is a game changer. It sure is. And
yes,
you know, what Cathy said is exactly true. You have so many different options. Whichever way works the best for you, that's what you should do.
Right. And I had changed the color of the projection, and I probably need to go back and change that again. So I'm going to, and I've already sewn this so the background will go away. So I'm going to go home here and say, okay. And I'm going to come into embroidery, and I'm just going to come into here, and it didn't get rid of it. I'm not sure why. So let's go ahead and pick the settings here and go forward to, so if you ever have where your background doesn't go away, come to page number 10, well, and just push delete. And okay, and okay. And when you come to embroidery, your background will be gone.
That
So-
one, I would have to say that that's one of the first questions that I get when somebody says, why can't my background go away? So thank you for showing that. Super simple, super easy. Hop on over there. By the way, Teresa, yes, you can watch this presentation again. You're on YouTube, so just be sure to subscribe to Brother's YouTube channel. That's the easiest way. You'll always see new shows coming up. But when you go to YouTube for Brother Sews, scroll across the top and look for live. If you go under live, I think this is show number 499. That means show number 500. Unbelievable. And we didn't even start counting the first 2 years. So that's where you can find it. All right.
All right. So if I come to in here, and I'm just going to scroll down. I want, I don't have to scroll down. I don't have a hoop on. So I'll just pick this corner here and go to set. And then when I push my projection, and it tells me that attached, so I do have to have a frame on here for it to project. So I'm going to come back over here and put my frame back on. Sorry.
We got your shirt. It looks good though.
All right. So now I have my frame back on, and I'm going to do the projection and say okay. And now we have this little settings here. So when I push my settings, I can change the background color. I have it this blue now, but I want to, whoops, let me go back to settings. I want to change that. And so I have 16 different colors that I can change that background to. So if I want to go back to white, I will just go back to white and say, okay. And now my projection box is white. So if you have something where you can't see, you can come in here and change the settings on your projection so you can see the color that's better on your fabric.
Yeah, that looks great. Hey, when you go to the other screen, Teresa wants you to show that start and stop again, but you can't because you've already taken your hoop out. Teresa,
the start and stop. Oh, yeah. Hold on. I can see. Okay. Oh. All right. Come to the memory pocket. Sorry. My brain doesn't always work. So come to the memory pocket. And I will pick this design here. And I will come here.
Begin sewing from the upper right corner. Use the move pattern keys to adjust the inside corner of the pattern.
Okay, so right here, see when I get here, I find the plus and minus. Can you see that?
Yep.
So then I'm going to come here, and now it's because I've got this on, it's by section. So I'm on section 1. I want to go to, say I want to go to 3. 1, 2, 3, and now I'm ready to do the third section instead of the first.
Perfect.
Is that what she wanted?
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. So it's just exactly where you do the plus and minus threads, but it's 4 sections when you're here. So right down here, you see it says segment.
Yep.
Yeah.
And notice she's using a wireless mouse, which we love that we can use the wireless mouse now. Anne said she just got her brand new Aveneer last Wednesday. Congratulations, Anne. Enjoy. We've got a ton of videos on Facebook and in the masterclass, so be sure to check those out.
All right. So any other questions or?
Can you switch to the camera? What she wants to see what button you were hitting. You know how when you push the start stop button to go slower? Just show her that button one more time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think that's the one she wants. So just go to your screen switch cameras.
Okay.
You don't have to start embroidering or anything. Just show her that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
This, I think that's what it was too, Joyce. Okay.
So this is your start stop button. When you're sewing.
Oh, we can't quite see. You know what? It's not on that. I wonder if I can show my camera.
So if I start sewing, let me just say okay here. Let's go home and come to embroidery. And I'll just come here and I will pick a decorative stitch right here and go to set. And I'm going to take this decorative stitch and move it. No, it's okay. I can just do it right here. So
I don't know if your camera, because we can't really see that button that you're pushing, you know, the start stop button. That's
okay, well, you want to see the start stop, okay? So I was just going to lower my foot.
Because now we just are seeing like a batch of fabric. Okay, there we go. Oh, Lisa, that's awesome to hear. Thanks.
Go to embroidery. And now when I start sewing, it's going to do its normal thing. But if I want it to go really slow, I'm going to push this button again, and then I'm going to push and hold it in. And it continues going slow. When I let it go, then it goes back to its normal speed. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah, but you can't see the button, so I'm going to try to bring up my camera.
The stop button.
Yeah, we can barely see your finger where you're pushing.
Oh.
It's not in the camera view.
Oh, okay. But it's just the button that you use to start sewing and stop sewing.
Here you go. I'll just touch mine real quick so she can see. Okay. I don't have my machine on, but just so you understand, she's pushing this button right here, and she just holds it in, and that will slow it down, let it go, and you can embroider. So it's this button right here. My machine's not on, but just to be clear, I think that's what she wanted to see. So that's perfect.
Okay.
We make a good team. I'll be your other hand. All right.
Okay.
Any other questions? This has been just a fantastic tutorial. Everyone's saying thank you, thank you. Thank you. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
All right. Cathy, you want to come back to us? There you are. Hey.
I just hope it makes some sense, but it's an amazing, absolutely amazing machine and what it can do and set things up. It's just wonderful.
Yeah. And you know, the other thing that you pointed out very clearly is that if there's one way you like to do it, Brother's given you a few different options. So do whichever one you feel more comfortable with. I would really encourage someone, though, while you're doing the quilt sashing, when you get to the corners, use those buttons, the buttons that allow you to make it larger, smaller, move it around. And, you know, if you're off by this much, which maybe you are, I think I was on my mom's, but she didn't even notice. But the rest of them were spot on. It's a big quilting area. You're not going to notice. So don't make yourself crazy on it, but use those buttons to move it around, do the angles and everything.
Exactly. And we didn't go through all of the buttons. I mean, you have to get towards the end, and I guess I should have done that. But if you're at the end and you need to make it a little bit longer and change the shape of it, you can. So make sure that you look at all the different options you have so that you can make it a little bit longer, a little bit shorter if it goes past the corner. It really is amazing what you can do.
It is. Yeah. Lois, that's what I use that button for too. She said use it for in the hoop projects when you get to that next section where there's this much fabric and you're trying to like get over that. That's what I use it for too.
Yeah. The In the Hoop projects is a great one. Yeah.
In the Hoop projects. All right, everyone. So this is your link if you want to go visit your local Brother dealer. They always have great sales. And also don't forget, if you have the Aveneer, it's still USA only, but go to Brother's site, register your machine. You'll receive an email from them with an activation code to the masterclass. And then you also have all these videos that are free on YouTube as well. So a lot of learning that Brother tries to offer you to, so you know the best of your machine, right? And also if you have, excuse me, if you have the Luminaire, you can still do the quilt sashing that we just showed you today. Your screen just looks a little different. So
exactly.
Cathy, this has been fantastic. It is so great to see you.
Thank you.
Oops, I brought up the wrong thing. Sorry about that. I was trying to bring up Brother's site. And don't forget to use hashtag Brother Sews when you design something, because we'd love to see what you're working on.
Yes. Everybody have a fantastic day and get to sashing. Yes.
Get to sashing. Everybody's saying thank you, thank you. I can hardly wait to get quilting. That's fabulous.
Nice.
I'm so glad you've been watching for years. Glenda, great to see you as well. All right, everyone. Until next time, I will see you on Thursday. Let me think, what's on Thursday? I can't remember off the top of my head. I think, if I remember correctly, it's embroidered jeans, but just check out the title. We'd love to have you hang out with us. So let me just see if I've got everybody's last minute questions here. Looks like we do. All right, speaking of quilting, we'll end with a quick video on that. Cathy, thank you for being so informative.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.